Bueno, mi gente. Alright guys, so today's video is going to be on my Smittybilt rooftop awning. I use this quite a bit, and I think this is a necessary piece of equipment when you're out in the desert. Hot, blaring sun beating down on you all the time, you definitely need some type of shade. And this definitely does that. It throws shade, and not in a bad way. So bear with me and I'll take you through some of the quick points. This is not going to be a long video by any stretch of the imagination. And we'll throw in some sped up footage of me setting it up. Alright, all told, this is really a basic unit. Everything is self-contained. Everything that you see here does come included. The two guidelines, the 4 poles, and the 4 poles actually fold up into the awning itself. We have one that fits into the front channel and one that fits into the back channel. Pretty simple. These two on the top will also fold down, and they go in, one on the top and one on the bottom. Now these are all aluminum construction. You have some cast metal. I don't know if this piece is aluminum or some other type of metal. I'm gonna go with aluminum because that's what it actually feels like. Pretty much the awning itself is pretty good. I don't have many complaints about it. I like that there's a plastic piece here that holds these pins, so that would actually give some flex to it instead of bending. Although you may be able to notice that my pin is bent there. This one was I actually straightened out with a convincer, with a mallet, 5-pound mallet. After the last windstorm, you may be able to see some deformation in there, and that came from a sudden gust. The windstorm wasn't in the forecast. We had 0 wind to maybe 7 miles an hour, so the typical wind that we have here. When suddenly the wind kicked up with a gust of about 45 to 50 miles an hour. I'm gonna say at least 45 to 50 miles an hour, because the wind was strong enough to pull the tent stakes that I use out of the ground that I used to tie this down. Now the stakes that I use actually drill into the ground and are rather long. Here's an example of that peg. Now it does screw in. The ground is firm. I can't just pull. Jesus, I'm exerting quite a bit of strength. That's my offhand. Let me try with my dominant hand. And I'm not able to pull that out of the ground. So for a sudden burst to pull those out of the ground, the wind had to be fairly strong. Other than that, I really not had any problems with this. I tend to use this whether it's raining or the sun is out. Obviously with the rain, it's a good place to have some place to be outside and still be covered and enjoy the breeze that comes with the rain, when it is a breeze and not a big strong wind where you're going to get wet anyway. The other part is I'll lower one side down, and I'll put a 5-gallon bucket down by the pole, and I'll gather rainwater during rain events that way. Now these last couple of rain events I was not able to do so, simply because the heavy winds that accompanied it, and once bitten twice shy. I don't really want to destroy the awning with that type of event again. You'll see in the setup video that it took me a little bit longer than it really should, even for one person, simply because of those little quirks. The far pole is bent, so unscrewing it so I could loosening it by turning it so I can extend it and then reinsert it is a bit difficult, only because of the bend. I've not been able to totally get that bend out, but then again, I've not really messed with it quite a bit. I did get this top part, this little plastic piece here also broke on me, but that's not a big issue. Smittybilt themselves does not make sidewalls for this, although I did buy a rough stuff sidewall. So this is the sidewall, and it fits the 6.5 by 6.5 model awning perfectly. It does feed into this channel here from either of the ends by taking that plastic piece off, and it uses this to support itself. This is what feeds into the channel itself. Now, if you don't want to place it on the front channel, you can still mount it onto the side bars with the included Velcro straps that go all the way across. Those do a fairly good job of holding it in place. However, the stitching on the bottom where the tie down straps go is, of the 4 straps, I only have 2 left. And that's because, I'm not talking about a big windstorm, but that's because just with 7 to 10 mile an hour winds, maybe even gusts up to 15, we'll easily rip these out. These are already been degraded. This is the second one that I've had. The first one lost all 4 of them on the first blow of the wind. So I used to mount them on either side, one on this side and one on this side, and that provided me some extra space where I could stay in the shade and be dry, and actually would block the direct sun because of the way that I actually have the vehicle positioned. You know, your mileage may vary. It may be that I happen to get 2 bad ones, because I did reach out to the company and I was supplied with a replacement, which is how I have 2. They did not require the first one back. I may take it into a town at some point and have that whole bottom area reinforced with some material, and then properly double or quadruple stitched in, because it is convenient to have them. For the meantime, what I do is during rainstorms, I'll put those out as well. I have a couple of poles that I could set up, and I'll stretch that in between so that it sags and it accumulates water. From the top, from the awning itself, just by twisting it down on the average rainfall, I can get about 3 to 5 gallons just from that drip water. And then no matter how tight I have the awning here, I'll still have some collect as this sags down, and I'll be able to get an additional 2.5 to 3 gallons out of that. Then on the awnings, when I have those stretched out, I can easily get 10 to 12 gallons out of each one of those. So that works out pretty well. I really got no complaints about that. That's basically it. Easy to set up, easy to take down. I have set this up by myself in fair winds, 7 to 15 miles an hour. Well, gusts up to 15, so 7 to 10 miles consistent wind, and I've not had any problems whatsoever. I'm a big fan of this, and for the price, this is an incredible buy. This is sub $200. Again, people will tell you that you get what you pay for, but I'll be honest with you, I don't care how much you pay for the awning. I don't think any of them would have been able to stand up to that sudden 50 mile an hour gust the way that it did. I do keep it leaned up. See that I have the front a bit higher than the back. I do that purposefully, number one, because I'm a bit tall, but I found that in wind, having it at that angle has been better than having it at a lower angle. It seems that it'll balloon up and catch more wind when it's even, or even the front is a little bit lower than the back than this way. It seems counterintuitive, but that's just been my experience. Pretty much going to do it for this video. So my final thoughts on the awning. For the price, it's an incredible value. An awning, no matter what awning you get, I don't care if you DIY an awning, if you buy much more expensive awning, I definitely recommend that if you're going to be out in any place where there's a lot of sun, that you pick one up, because it is an invaluable piece of equipment. It throws shade. What am I going to tell you? Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope to see you on the next one. As always, if you found any value with this video, I ask that you return that value. The links will be down in the description for Patreon, for Bitcoin, and for PayPal. As always, I ask you to comment, like, and subscribe. You know, comment on the video. Tell me what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see next. Subscribe so that you can continue to watch my videos, and hit that bell so that you know when new videos are released. That's gonna do it for today, guys. See you on the next one. Suave, mi gente.